All right, everybody, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about options premium. I've noticed over the years, they like to use fancy language to make all of this seem really complicated so that maybe they just want to confuse you. They want to keep it all for themselves. And if they use fancy language, then they get to isolate themselves and it pushes you farther away. The thing is, if we convert all of this fancy language into just plain English, you'll realize options really aren't that complicated at all. It's a language barrier. So, what is options premium? It's the cost of the option. Now, when it comes to options trading, you can buy to open or you can sell to open, which means you're going to be dealing with that premium no matter which side of the trade you're on. When you go to open the trade, you'll deal with premium. And when you go to close the trade, you'll deal with premium. So let's kind of game this out a little bit. I've got Apple here. We can see that it's trying to rise up from that 220 level on the daily. And if we look at the 220 Apple calls, they're trading between $8 and $8.10. We can split the mid, maybe try to land on 805. And if we work the order and try to close this, then we would be filling a trade buy to open with a premium of 805. Now, there's a couple of ways this can go. Suppose Apple runs up to 240, and I'm going to look to get out of this trade somewhere around $23. Well, if I bought it for 8 and I sell it for 23, then I made $15 in this trade. When I close it, I would get that $23 in premium. It's just another word of saying what it's worth, right? What its options value is. But let's flip this over and say that I wanted to sell to open this call. Maybe we think that it's just a short-lived bump and it's going to continue to fall to the downside, and I want to sell a 220 call. I would sell it and collect $8 in premium. So I'm either buying it with $8 in premium or I'm selling it with $8 of premium. Either way, I'm opening the trade and I'm dealing with premium. When it comes time to close that trade, let's say I did sell it for 8 and Apple continues to fall another $10 and I go to get out of this trade somewhere around $3.50. Well, if I sold it for 8 and I buy it back at $3.50, then I made $4.50 profit, and that would be the premium that I would have to pay to close this trade. So don't let that fancy word premium throw you off. It's just the value of the option and whether or not you're buying it, paying a premium, or you're selling it, collecting a premium. Either way, it's just the value of the option. I went ahead and wrote it down because I think sometimes, hearing it is one thing, but seeing the words is another thing. So, what is options premium? Premium is a fancy word to describe an option's price. For buyers, the premium is what they must pay to open the trade. It's called a debit in a buy to open trade. For sellers, the premium is what they collect to open the trade, and that is considered a credit in a sell to open trade. But if we flip all of that around when it's time to close the trade, if we sell to close, if the trade was buy to open, then the premium is what is collected to close the trade in a sell to close situation. If we buy to close, if the trade was sell to open, then the premium is what is paid to close the trade in a buy to close situation. You see how it doesn't matter if we're opening or closing, and it doesn't matter if we bought it or sold it. Premium is still just the price of the option. So don't let these crazy fancy words throw you off, right? When I was learning options, I wrote out a little cheat sheet and I would put fancy words like that on there and then just use something that I found an equivalent to in plain English, right? Like the price of the option. That way, if I was listening to videos or if I was reading a book about options and they would start using premium as part of the language, I would just replace that in my mind with the price of the option. And then it would just help normalize that language that I was listening to or reading. So that's it, short and sweet. Options premium. Really hope this video helped you out. I'll see you guys at the next one.